someone who is trying to roll out a project and is doing it in a creative way. YG.
Yeah, he is.
He dropped his song 2004. And again, I think that I have had to figure out how I'm going to address this because I think it was an important message.
Mm-hmm.
I think that it was something that was good that he said. Obviously terrible what happened to him. He basically discusses how he was sexually assaulted at a young age.
Yeah, if you haven't heard the song, go run the song before tuning into the rest of this conversation so you have some reference.
Yeah. And I think that I was taken aback at first because classic West Coast beat, YG shit. I'm thinking it's like gonna be just a regular YG song, you know what I mean? Thinking he might bodies be going to some whatever shit, talking about gang shit or whatever. And he starts off and says, "When I was young, I got raped," which is obviously what the fuck, just kind of a slap in the face. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And then throughout the song, then kind of details his experience as a 14-year-old, basically being molested by a 30-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that the song is not something I'm gonna play from like a sonic standpoint. But again, I think that this is an experience that a lot of young Black men in these communities go through. And I think that having someone like YG say this and be so candid about it, open about it, going into detail about it is important because it might make someone else who's going through that, seeing their friend go through that, speak up, say something, be like, yo, this isn't okay. I don't feel comfortable with this. This nigga who's like rich, famous, has all this shit, went through the same thing. And it's like, this doesn't make me soft to feel uncomfortable by this.
Yeah.
So I think that it was very, it was obviously really brave of him to come out and talk about it. Again, I don't know if it's like my favorite Sonic song, but I think that the messaging was good. And I think, a shout out to him, you know what I mean, for healing. It's important.
I agree with everything you said. I feel like the messaging was wrong. Or the delivery was wrong, sorry. I think the delivery was wrong. And I may have felt differently, but the first time I actually heard just the snippet of the song was on Neon stream. For those that don't know, Neon is a pretty big Twitch streamer. And the way that he did it was that he was with Neon. He was sitting down. He was like, I'm about to go to the bathroom but play some of my music on stream. And he left his phone and Neon played that song and then like either acted surprised or was surprised and like stopped playing the song. He's like, yo, did I play the right song? Like they're doing this whole either skit or like whatever, where he's like, he is surprised at the first opening line. And like when YG comes back to from the bathroom, he's like, yo, are you playing the music? And he's like, like I think I might have played the wrong song. It was a little bit of a bit.
Did he play the rest of the song on the stream?
I don't know. And to be honest, I only saw that clip of it. But I still think though that just based on that clip, I feel like it told a story to me of like, okay, this song, I didn't think it was real. I thought it was like a joke almost because of the way that it was delivered on stream. And then to find out that it was a real song and the delivery is kind of the same. And he's talking about very serious issues, but kind of using that as the shock factor to open it up. I'm like, I understand the point of the song. And I do feel like it is an important message, but I think delivery is also important. And I feel like he made a little bit of like a joke of it, which doesn't feel like effective messaging.
I don't think the Neon thing, and again, this could be me being wrong, but he ended the stream after.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that was actually intentional
Mm-hmm.
to me. I don't know. I really don't know. I'd have to watch it over again and really look for it because I just saw a headline of it. But I don't want to even talk about that part.
Wait,
I don't think
that's an important part of the story.
I really don't think it is. I think
it
that because
I think they did end the stream afterwards. That's what I saw.
Yeah,
and so it might have actually been an accident.
Yeah,
and so if we don't know, I don't think we should assume that this was like a planned way to deliver it.
Yeah, I don't think any of that is relevant because it's like this, just taking the song at face value for what it is, right?
You guys think that was like that was an accident? I really don't know.
All I know is that Neon probably, like, I think it's so easy to click the wrong file, especially if you're playing unreleased music. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I just don't know. So I'm not gonna.
That's a little bit of a stretch to me.
I think your point stands regardless of the Neon thing. I hear what you're saying. You think that he came in really hot, made it like a shock value thing when it should have been a message that was more serious, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I disagree. I think it was actually a really fly way to talk about this, because if you're gonna get the audience where that might have been affected, they're like, you have to kind of like disguise this a little bit. You know what I mean? As like this classic West Coast song, but also you have to be brave and upfront tell them what they're about to hear. So I'm not mad at the delivery. I also thought the song itself was fire. Like, I personally think the Buddy hook is really, really great. The first verse is a little choppy to me, but I think the flow on the second verse is one of my favorite actual just YG flows I've heard in a long time, removing the lyrics. So I really enjoyed actually the sonics of the song. So to have what I think of as a really high quality song with this really important message, I think it was a super fly way to go about it. And I really do commend him for being, I like the way that he opened it. I think it's important that he was so brave at the start.
I don't think it's, again, I'm just speaking sonically, I don't like it, but I think from a messaging standpoint, I think you have to. Because I think that when you say something like that to start off a song, he's like very matter of fact, like, this is what this is.
Yeah.
What I'm about to explain to you, what I'm about to go through with you, how I'm about to go into detail about this and say, you know, because he gets into the nuances of it, which is what's interesting, saying like, I may have liked it, this is what happened, all of the different things that he and this older woman engaged in, but off jump, this is rape.
Yeah.
This is bad. This is not okay. All the bad things that you guys associate with this word is exactly what happened to me. And now that we've got that out of the way, you as someone who may be going through this, if you've experienced any of these things, now you know what to call it.
Yeah.
Now you know how to identify it. I enjoy the fact that in the video, he's clearly in a therapy session. Again, that's the part that made me kind of be like, I wish it was done a little more seriously. Because like when he says it and then homegirl covers her mouth, I'm like,
yeah.
And that to me is my greater issue. I hear what you guys are saying, but I think we're giving him a little bit too much credit.
No.
I think we're giving him a little bit too much credit on, not that, I'm not saying that he didn't try maybe to do the right thing, but I think that when it comes to delivering messages like this, like obviously he's very serious. And like, I'm not trying to make light of what happened to him. That's real. You feel me? Everything you said is real, because that happens. But I just don't think it was even handled right. And I think the shock value opener, I think the music video at some points with the therapist felt a little bit like they were trying to put some comedy into it. I don't know. It felt like I don't think he followed through. I don't think he completely followed through on the point.
But then to miss the mark is fine.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're not always going to do it right. And this is a difficult thing. And this is the first time he's ventured into this space. This is not even the type of music or subject matter that he ever has attacked. So while I agree with you, the things with the therapist took me out of it, taking a step back and looking at it from his perspective, I could see how he's trying to make this artistic.
Mm-hmm.
It just may not have landed well. But I think the intention behind everything that he is doing was good. And I think that even more so now, that makes you be like, yo, this is a hood nigga trying to articulate his pain in a way that he can comprehend, in a way that he feels comfortable with. So like very imperfect, like could have been maybe done a little bit better. But like, I think that he was coming from a really good place with everything he did.
Yeah. And I think there are 2 points that you need to make if you're making this song. And the first is that, yeah, if you were a young boy and like an older woman took advantage of you, you might have thought it was fly. You and all your friends might have thought it was the coolest shit. You might still think it's fly. No, that was assault. That was rape. That's point 1. Made that right off the bat. And point 2 is if something like this happened to you, that could be the long-standing issues on why you can't trust women and why you struggle with the relationships and why you are the way you are. I think a lot of people still haven't hurdled hurdle 1. Nonetheless, even started to think about point 2.
Yes.
So if you have someone like YG telling it to you point blank, I don't know. I think it could be eye-opening for a lot of people that were in this kind of situation. I think that's a valuable conclusion to take away. Like you might be relating with YG the whole time because YG low key makes he made it sound a little too good at one point. You know what I mean? Where like he was enjoying himself. He made it clear that like he in the moment was enjoying it, and his friends thought it was fly. So I think that's a relatable situation for a lot of people. But then at the end, he's like, "This is why I still can't trust bitches."
Yeah, and I think that that's again not perfect execution. I think that he almost got to the full circle thing.
Well, I think that's good. I think that's probably how people feel.
But it's not, you don't end with, this is why I mistreat women and am not open with them and cheat on them and have my flaws and issues with women. It may be, it's not justification. That doesn't make it okay. It makes it understandable, and it's dope that you could talk about it and that you've articulated it, but that doesn't mean that because you have these traumas, you could impose them on other people. You have to work through that. Or when you have these issues and you're like, damn, I'm being super closed off with this girl and like starting these fights and pushing myself away from her as we're starting to get close. Let me take a step back and be like, it's not you, it's me. And maybe let me let you into why I'm apprehensive.
But you can't do that until you've had the epiphany.
Of course.
Until you know where the stem of this problem is coming from.
I agree.
And so I think it was important for him to say, this is why in my life I've acted this way, that it's wrong.
Yes.
And now I see that, and now I can work through it. So if you
But I don't think that's the conclusion.
You don't?
I don't think that was the conclusion he came to. I think he was like, so if you're wondering why I do these things, this is why.
Yeah.
But he didn't say that that was wrong. The way that he's treating these women still today is still wrong, even if there's a reason for it.
Well, I don't know if he said any of the, I don't know if any of the things that he was citing as the side effects of this assault were like wrong.
At the end, he was definitely talking about like how he treats women. Like
he was talking about how he don't trust them, right? Like he can't stay in relationships with them.
Yeah, and like be like, I think he talks about cheating a little bit too.
Okay,
and I'm like, that's like again, like I think he did a good job. I think this is
but
a hard
if we're
thing to
making a
tackle.
song for all these survivors of assault, I think we take steps with it. You don't, on the song that's supposed to be like eye-opening to them and like bring them in and show them that this is something that could have led to some of their problems. You also don't say, but you're still wrong. You still slap on the wrist for the way that you treat the women. You know,
no,
like,
but I think there's a
take the
way to be
steps.
like, this is not okay. You know what I mean? Like there's a way to do it a little bit, but again, not perfect. I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at the message. I like the attempt.
I think my gripes with the song and the video and the rollout are that I feel like there are parts that are just really not well done. I admire and I do really think that it's an important message that he's putting out there. But there's other artists that have done it better. And maybe that's, you know what, I will say, maybe that's not important. I do feel like the delivery is important, especially when you're trying to reach like certain audiences and show that you relate to them, and that this is something that happens to everyone, or not everyone, but a lot of people. It's an experience that's more universal than you might think. I think my gripes with this song are just in the delivery and in really that I feel like other artists have done it better. And again, I don't think it really matters if he's trying to express like his story and express his pain. But I do think delivery is important. I think the way that you send a message is important. And y'all's perspective about the stream maybe changes my mind. But the way that I received it was that it was supposed to be a joke at first. And so I think with that perception, everything is skewed. Especially when I see the video and I don't feel like it's overly serious and I don't feel like he's expressing himself like in the best way the whole time.
I mean,
You know
it's
what I mean?
but like, do you really like? Of course, narratives, internet, all the shit, but like context, like really looking at it, like, do you think YG would go on Neon stream to make a joke like that? Like, does this feel like this doesn't feel like a joke in any capacity to me?
I don't know YG. I was surprised. I was surprised. What?
Of course, none of us know YG.
Nah, but I'm saying like I don't know him as a person because of these things. Because I wouldn't think that he would be on a stream with someone like Neon anyway. And then, okay, if he's gonna be on that stream, then we all know Neon is like very like, I wouldn't say makes jokes like that, but it has been in controversy. Like, I don't know, bro. I don't know if he's above that.
Bro,
to be honest.
but bro.
You're saying nobody jokes about that?
I don't think anybody like YG is joking about that, and I don't think many people joke. I think that like that's one of the things that you really don't play with. Like, I don't think many niggas, if any, in the mainstream are joking about that in any capacity.
I don't know, bro. I think I've heard people throw the word around like in more non-serious settings, whether that's right or wrong.
But not in a song where he's talking about what happened to him. Like, that's not like, I just don't get any vibe.
But do you see why when I saw that and then saw the video, I'm like, I just don't feel like this was handled right. Like, I think there's so many people. Obviously, mistakes happen all the time, whatever. But I think there's so many people around an artist that if he wants to deliver that message, like I said, there are artists that have done it before, and there's people in the room that should be able to be like, okay, we have to handle this very carefully. I don't think it was handled as carefully as it should have been.
And so my homie asked me, he's like, you're in the building working, and YG comes to you and plays this song. How do you critique something like this? Because it's like, you can't really.
It's a great question.
Like, you really can't say what to do with this. You really have to let the artist take the reins fully, I think.
Yeah.
And if you have that super close relationship with them, the most I could even think you say is like maybe too on the nose.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes, you know what I mean? But like, then to say like other artists have delivered this message, but who from YG's community has delivered this message?
And that's a valid point. That's a valid point that maybe this is the only way he knew how. But I do think that you can always give feedback in your opinion. Like, it's like, maybe he won't change the song, but I would have at least hoped that somebody would have been like, yo, to be honest, like the very beginning is super jarring and shocking. And like, people may not receive this the way that you think that they're going to receive.
But it's not about them.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, even though you have a billion streams, bunch of people listening to your music, you do a bunch of crowds, you are still that person that is making music for you. And this is your form of expression. And it's not for me. This is not for a bunch of songs, for the club bangers, for all that stuff. Yeah, I'm going to say something. But this moment is not for me to comment on. It's not.
I hear what you're saying. I still feel comfortable critiquing the song and just being
you
like,
can't critique someone.
It didn't get
bro. You
the
can't
right way.
critique someone's pain, and you can't critique them like putting something out to deal with like literally the most traumatic. This is one of the most traumatic experiences anyone could go through.
I agree with you on
You
the second
can't. So
part.
you think that you should critique that?
Yeah, I think we can say that I don't feel like he did it well. To be honest.
Yeah, I think you're allowed to say, "Hey, I don't think you should have the clip of the woman gasping." You can approach
say
it
that
with
it
reverence.
takes away.
You can be like, "Hey, man, I like." If you have the relationship, they'll understand that you want this message to get delivered as well as they do. So you can be like, "Hey, I think you might be taken away from the seriousness."
If you have the relationship,
yeah.
If you have that relationship, which we don't know that people have, that's a very iffy thing. So I'm like, I give him the benefit of the doubt, and I just see the intention, and I'm like, there are things that are more important than critiquing the little things. I think the overall takeaway is positive. And I think that it's more beneficial to focus on that rather than the few things that maybe we would have tweaked. Because I think that the overall message of what he was trying to say was received. So it doesn't really do us any good or the conversation any good to nitpick, to me.
I'm interested to see what the reception is on it, to be honest. Because I do strongly feel the way that I feel. But I could be bugging. I don't know. I just, yeah. I think I've stated my point. Like it's like it wasn't done the right way for me. From the rollout, from the rollout to like the.
But you can't
delivery of the
keep
song.
calling it a rollout, bro. I don't think this nigga was rolling out the song like that.
And it's not for you. It's not for any of us. It's for people that have gone through
You
this.
know what I mean?
You know, so like I think he did it in a way that's going to reach them, and I think a lot of people are actually going to be moved and have their lives changed by this song. To be completely honest,
You know, I think it's more about the message, and I think that the people that he's like, because you also have to think too, because I was really on the same page as you. I was really on the same page as you at first, but then it's like, you want something that a 14-year-old is going to be able to digest and understand if they're going through this. And they need something that's pretty like straightforward a little bit.
yeah.
You know?
You don't have to play the song, bro.
Yo,
It's all good.
All right. No. I mean, if we're gonna continue talking about this, like, I just don't think I want my 14-year-old hearing this message, bro. To be honest.
What if your 14-year-old is going through, but it's not your 14-year-old.
Mhm.
It's a 14-year-old in the hood that can't talk to this say they don't have a father in their life or someone in there. They don't have someone that's looking out for them.
Mm-hmm.
And they go through the same experiences as YG. They look up to YG. They're from the same community as YG. They need to hear this message if they're going through this. It's not about your 14-year-old that's growing up completely fine.
Do you feel like this song is a good song?
No, I said that from
All right, then we're on the exact same page. Then we're on the exact.
No. Did I make that abundantly clear from the beginning that I would not play this song sonically? I have issues with it, but I don't think that that's the focus of it, and I don't think that's the point of it. I don't think the point of this is for it to be a good song. I think it's to deliver a message, and I think the message was delivered to the audience that he was trying to reach.
I disagree.
I
don't think we're gonna be on the same page. To be honest,
But I think
you're saying you don't think it's a good song, and I'm saying the same thing.
I'm not listening to it for pleasure.
But then you're going to, but the message is good, bro. The message is great. Like, this is something that people need to hear. I think when you have an important message, it's about the delivery. Think about. Did you like? All right, let's take it off such a serious topic, because I think that's where the friction is at. Another serious topic, but maybe less serious.
I know exactly what song you're gonna say. The
1-800 song.
Okay.
By Logic. Do you feel
Yes.
like that is a good song and the right message? Like, it was delivered well?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Do I think it was delivered well?
So you think it's a good song?
No, I don't think it's a good song.
Do you feel like the message was delivered well?
Yes.
Okay.
To the audience that needed to hear it.
Okay. You might be right about that. Because I was going to say, for me, I was like, bro, that song is mad funny. Like, bro, what is bro talking about for real? But it was a huge song. I saw millions of people like embraced it. You feel me? And
Yes.
maybe the way that Logic spoke to his audience was the right way to speak to them. I can see what you're saying to an extent. I just feel like, I feel the way I feel about the YG song, but putting it in that context, maybe I understand what you're saying more. You know?
I think we like to relate to music. So when we're listening to music that is about traumas we don't have, it's natural for us to be like, well, okay, I'm not going to listen to this song. Because for me, I think I actually really liked the instrumental, and I really liked Buddy's hook, to the point where I might play this song if it wasn't about sexual assault. And the subject matter is why I won't play it, but that's okay because it's not for me, and it's not for me to play. You know what I'm saying? There's a bunch of songs like that.
And that's why I'm like, I didn't get it until I'm sitting back and like, because I'm thinking about it, and like, obviously it's a very jarring song, but then we're like prepping for the pod, obviously, and thinking about like, I know I have to discuss this, right?
Yeah.
So now I'm thinking about like, how am I going to articulate myself in an intelligent way? I take myself out of it, and I'm like, I'm thinking about what the room is like. And I'm thinking about YG, who has made bangers. YG, who has made songs that translate to the general public. YG knows the type of music that is going to make people bob their head, get into shit. I think that he intentionally made this and said what he said and got into things that he talked about to tell people who are going through this exactly what to look out for and speak to them specifically. Very more niche audience, and was only trying to talk to them. I don't think he was really trying to speak to any of us. I think that he did the beat, obviously, that again, like, you know what I mean? We know, we like that sound. We go bob our head to it, da, da, da. But it's not for us in any capacity.
Yeah.
I don't think he made it for us at all. So that's why I'm like, the message was good. And I think it was delivered well to those people that are supposed to receive it and learn from it.
You know what? And maybe he doesn't owe anybody this, but I think the way that this is handled from now on, like moving forward, will speak volumes to me. Like, I think if YG is active in talking about the song and his experience and why he put it out and the messaging of it, I think that will speak a little bit more to me than just the actual song itself.
He should do an interview.
Yeah, he will.
I think this song needs some context, and I think that's what I'm missing. I think the context it's in right now for me is a little soured, and again, didn't even think about the way you guys are thinking about it before. Could be thinking about it completely wrong, but I would like to see him talk about it a little bit more in a different setting. If that makes sense, than just the music, because I think this topic is heavy enough where it should be handled a little bit more and talked about a little bit more.
Yeah. Shout out YG. See an interview.